In the previous lesson, we had started solving these two variable inequalities by making a graph and then shading in one side or the other. We're going to continue that here just to get a little more practice with that. And so number 4 here, we want to go ahead and graph this inequality, find all the solutions for this inequality. And we're going to make a graph, and then we're going to shade in one side that's true. Okay, so to start with, this one is not in slope-intercept form. So the first thing we want to do is rearrange this and get it in slope-intercept form. So your first step is going to be to move the x over with the 2. So when you do that, you're going to have negative y greater than or equal to negative x plus 2. Okay, we're not quite in slope-intercept form yet because there's a minus sign in front of that y. What do you do to get rid of the negative sign that's in front of that y? Okay, you're going to divide everything over here by negative 1. So when we do that, we're going to have y, and then negative x divided by negative 1 is positive x. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. Now remember, when you do that, when you divide by a negative, it also switches this inequality sign around. And so it actually becomes that. However, if you forget that, in this case it's not going to be a big deal because we're going to plug our points back into the original problem anyway. So if you forget to do that, you're probably still going to end up with the right answer. Okay, go ahead and graph the line then, y equals x minus 2. Now you're going to use a solid line or a dotted line. Okay, remember, you're going to use a solid line because this would have been a solid circle because it's got the equal to sign underneath it. It's got the line underneath it. Okay, so you should have started at negative 2 and then gone up 1 and over 1 and used a solid line when you graphed it. Okay, now we want to pick one side or the other to shade in. So pick a point on each side. 0, 0 is always a nice point to pick if you can. So that's a point on one side is 0, 0. Now we need to pick something down here. So decide on a point here. You might pick this one right here. What would the ordered pair for that point right there be? Okay, that would be 4, 0. Go over 4 and up 0. Okay, now let's decide which side's true and which side's false. So again, go back to your original problem. And for this first one, you're going to put 0 in for x and 0 in for y. So that means it's going to be 0 minus 0 greater than or equal to 2. Is that true or is that false? Okay, this would be false because 0 minus 0 is 0 and 0 is not greater than 2. Okay, now try it with 4 and 0. So 4 for x, 0 for y. Is 4 minus 0 greater than 2? Yes, it is. So that's true. Okay, so 0, 0 was false. 4, 0 was true. So now shade in the side that's true. Okay, so you should have shaded in this side over here. And so that's what your graph should look like for number 4. Okay, number 5, we want to graph y is less than 4. Now notice this one only has one variable in it instead of 2, but we've still got a graph down here that's a coordinate grid, so we're still going to graph it the same way that we've done the rest of them. We're going to draw a line on here for y is less than 4. So what would that line y is less than 4 look like? Would it be vertical or horizontal? Would it go up and down or side to side? Okay, y equals 4. Remember, it has no x in it, so it can't cross the x-axis. So y equals 4, you're going to go to 4 on the y-axis, and then you're going to draw a horizontal line. That's what the line y equals 4 looks like. Now this should actually be a dotted line because it doesn't have a line underneath it. Okay, so we actually want a dotted line in here. So you can go back with your eraser and erase the pieces on there if you want. Okay, now we want to shade in one side or the other. Now you may kind of know which side you need to shade in for less than 4, but let's use our ordered pairs just to check. So let's pick a number down here. Okay, so again, 0, 0 is always a good number to pick if you can. And then let's pick a number up here. Okay, so we might pick the ordered pair like that one right there. What would that ordered pair be right there? Okay, that would be 2, 5. Okay, so let's put in 0, 0. Well, there's no place to put the x, so we're only putting in the y part of this. So is 0 less than 4? Is that true or false? Okay, that's true. So 0, 0 is true. Okay, what if we put in 2, 5? Well, again, there's no place to put the 2, but the 5 goes where the y's at. So this would be 5 is less than 4. Is that true or false? Okay, that's false. We want to shade in the side that's true, so shade in the true side now get your final answer. Okay, so the true side is down below this line. So you should have shaded in down below here. Okay, one more example. This time we want to do x is greater than or equal to -2. So is this line going to be vertical or horizontal? Is it going to be vertical? Is it going to go up and down? Or is it going to be horizontal? Is it going to go side to side? Okay, remember when it was a y, it went side to side. So x's are going to go up and down. Again, an x line can't, there's no y, so it can't cross the y-axis. So x and -2. So go to -2 on the x, and then draw a vertical line. And this is going to be a solid line this time because there's a line underneath our inequality sign. It would be a solid circle, so it's going to be a solid line. Okay, now again, you may have an idea of which side to shade in, but let's just check here. Okay, I'm going to pick 2 points, so again I'm going to choose 0, 0 because that's always an easy one to pick. And then I'm going to pick some point over here. So let's say we choose this one. What would the ordered pair for that one be? That would be -4, 0. Okay, so this time I don't have any place to plug in the y, but I can plug in the x. So the first one would be 0 greater than or equal to -2. Is that true or false? That's true. So 0, 0 is true this time. Okay, -4, 0. Okay, again, no place to plug in the y, but I plug in -4 where the x is at. Is -4 greater than or equal to -2? Well, that's not true. -4 is smaller than -2. It's more negative than -2. So that's why it's false. Okay, I want to shade in the true side. So go ahead and shade in the true side. That would be this side over here. And so any point that I pick over here is going to make that inequality true. When I plug that number in, that ordered pair in for x, it's going to be greater than or equal to -2. Okay, so this is how we can graph an inequality on a grid like this. It's how we solve these two variable inequalities. You make a line, you have to decide whether it's solid or dotted, just like you had to decide whether it was a solid circle or an open circle. And then you shade in one side or the other after you draw your line. And the way you decide which side to shade in is you pick a point and determine whether it's true or false, like we did on the first part of this lesson.